afternoon. It's 2018. Can you believe it? Hi, my name is Becky, and this is the Socks for Mum podcast. And I haven't recorded in 3 weeks. The 3 weeks have flown by. I went to Denver right after Thanksgiving to watch my grand dog, the golden retriever, for my daughter while she did a little bit of traveling. And then when I got home, I only had 10 days left before my husband and I flew back up there for Christmas. So I didn't decorate this year, and it was a little bit harder than I thought it would be. But what helped me was watching all the Vlogmases out there. And that really put me in the Christmas spirit, and I just enjoyed getting into everybody's homes and seeing a little bit of their life outside of a regular podcast. So thank all of you for doing that, because it was enjoyable for those of us who watched. But I'm recording today in my sunroom, and the sun is going to be coming in fast and furious here in a few minutes. And I have everything laid out here, so I'm going to try to get through this and hopefully not have to change locations and start all over again. But I welcome you to my little corner of the fiber world. This podcast is mostly about fiber. It's about weaving and spinning. And I'm going to throw in a little bit of sewing because that's one of my New Year resolutions this year. So let's get started here. I have a little bit of administrative business because the Wonderland Club has started. This is our first sock. I know many of you have seen this so many times already, but for those who have not, this is the first sock. It was designed with Alice in mind because I pictured her tumbling down that rabbit hole in something lacy and something blue. And several people have already cast on. First of all, I'd like to offer my apologies because that pattern went out before my testers were done with it, not on purpose, but by accident. And so I've had to send you some revisions, and I'm really sorry about that because there's nothing more tiresome than getting edits on a pattern before you ever even start it. So, the next pattern, I will not let that happen to. I should never say never, but it will be thoroughly tested and edited, and you won't have to go through that. But this is the Wonderland sock, and I have a comment I'd like to make about it, or just a little bit of advice before you start. This is a 60 stitch cast on. It's the medium size. And I am going to recommend to you that if you typically cast on 64 stitches for a sock, you really ought to go with this stitch count. Because I know a couple of my testers went with a larger size and it was a little bit bigger than them. For them, the lace on the front, by its nature, lace is already pretty elastic. And then I've added this ribbing across the back here, and that will make it stretch even more. So I would just, if you have an average foot or even slightly above average, I would recommend just trying that medium size and not going all the way up to a 72. But that is up to you. So this, you can still purchase the club, and you can still purchase the sock individually if you don't want to purchase that. And I have been busy sewing some more bags. The first one I did get finished with this one. I think I showed this to you guys. This is the garden party. I believe that's what it is. Let me see if I can. And then I bought this at the Loopy Ewe, and they ran this through a color generator and suggested all of these colors to go with it. So I did a little patchwork bag. It's really big. It's really big, bigger than I thought it was going to be. But I've got my, I don't have a Wonderland project in here. I have my granny stripe blanket in here, along with lots and lots and lots of balls to make it with this next year. But I do like this bag, and yeah. The other bag that I made, which is going to be a prize, our first prize, is this little sock bag. And it's a drawstring. And it's got different color solids, those solids on the inside. And this is a great little sock bag for knitting socks. So I think what I'm going to do is every month I'm going to draw from the socks that are being knit, and I will start a finished Wonderland thread on the Ravelry group. And as you finish your socks, please put those in there, because at the end of each month I plan on doing a drawing, and I'm going to be making little Wonderland bags, and I will send the winner a bag. So that is that bag. Well, what else about the Wonderland Club? One thing's for sure, when I started it, I didn't think this would be all I'm talking about all the time, but it won't be, I promise. This is the Duchess sock that I wanted to show you guys. It is going to the testers this week. I'm not quite sure if this will be the next sock I release though, because it is a little bit more difficult. It's certainly doable, and I want to encourage all of you to jump in, because as I said, I want this whole series to build your skills. So when I picked this particular stranded pattern, I picked one that you don't have to carry the floats. There is no stretch in this stranded pattern longer than 3 stitches. So you won't have to worry about that if that's your first time ever stranding. And then this also is another little simple cable pattern. Now, my intention in designing this, there's also the ribbing on the back, as before. It's not the exact ribbing. This ribbing follows along with this cable pattern. But this cable pattern is only 4 rows, and you manipulate the stitches on 2 of those rows. But my intention when I designed this sock was also so that you could knit just the stranded pattern all the way down, or you could knit the stranded pattern with the ribbing that's on the back all the way down, or you can just take 2 of these cables and knit the middle of the sock in a plain stockinette. It's kind of a mix and match sock. So that is the Duchess sock. And I have yarn from Knit Picks in a purple colorway called Duchess. So I will be knitting another pair of these in that colorway, and I'll be showing that to you guys soon. But that's getting ready to go to the testers, and they'll have plenty of time to test it, so hopefully it will be error-free. Let's see, what else do I have to show you? I have a lot to show you because I have New Year's resolutions I want to talk about, and I would like to hear what yours are too. Let's see. I think I will start with things I did not finish. I took to Denver. I don't know if I ever even talked about this, but I bought Helen Stewart's Knit Vent, and I started a Scrappy Cow, and I just wasn't totally in love with it. So I kind of stopped it when I was up there in Denver, that first stretch that I was there, and decided I wasn't going to knit this because I really didn't care for those colors. So I'm going to put it aside because I'm finding that maybe I get tired of things, and when I revisit them, I want to do them again, because I think I told you guys that surprise party shawl that I had started and I wasn't quite liking the colors. I picked it up again and I'm liking it now. So that is something that I was going to frog that I ended up not frogging. And these colors, the way Helen has designed this shawl is just, I think, ingenious. Because to me, this part right through here just reminds me of on a cake, how you do those swirls. I don't know, there's just something about this that really makes me think of a surprise birthday party and a surprise birthday party cake. So I have picked this back up again, and I'll be working on that this next year. And I'm glad I did not frog it. So I think when I have these impulses to frog something next year, I'm just going to put that in timeout and maybe revisit it later on. And I think I might actually like it again. So that is something that I picked up to start again. When I was in Denver, I went to the Colorful Yarns, my favorite shop up there, and sorry for bending over. I picked up some Christmas yarn. I picked up this colorway called Grinch and started another Christmas sock. So I have one finished Christmas sock and one other finished Christmas sock from that first pattern I started. And guess what? I had no socks to wear on Christmas because I got a little sidetracked. So I'm putting these away for next year, and I will finish these mates next year. We had a winner, and I sent out a bag, and I loved all the socks that you guys knit. In fact, a few of you knit more than one. And so those were quite lovely, and you will have lots of socks to wear next year. I'll have another pair. I'll have 2 pairs next year. So that's what I did when I was in Denver. I got distracted. I got distracted from my cowl when I picked up that yarn, and all of that has taught me that I need to be more mindful next year. So I have a few goals that I want to talk about. But I'll share something else with you that I got when I was in Denver. I'm really having problems talking today. I probably should record this tomorrow. I had quite a lot of cleaning done on my gum yesterday, up underneath my gum, and I'm sore. So my mouth doesn't feel like it's moving right, and I'm stumbling over words. Anyways, I bought yarn when I was up in Denver. I got a Christmas gift card to Fancy Tiger Crafts, and I may or may not have shown this to you already, but this is my Q1 sweater that I'm going to be knitting, It's the Birkin sweater by Caitlin Hunter. Actually, I know you guys don't know about this because I bought the yarn that first leg of my trip to Denver. So this sweater is knit with Brooklyn Tweed Loft. And it's a very rustic yarn. It's a fingering weight yarn that reminds me of Shetland. Shetland yarn. I'm going to show you the colors. I actually can't really hold them. But there's this color, which is flannel. And this color, which is camper. It's kind of a rosy pink. There's this yellow called Belle. And there's this green called Tint. So I really love this yarn. The lanolin is still in it, so every time I knit with it, my hands feel nice and soft. And it smells heavenly. It smells like a rustic yarn. You know, not a commercial yarn, even though it is a commercial yarn, but it smells very woolly, and I love it. So I'll show you what I have so far. I may or may not have told you, but my goal is to knit 4 sweaters next year. I'm going to show you in a second. And 1 sweater each quarter. So here it is so far. And I'm enjoying it, but I will tell you, it's not really Fair Isle because there's 3 colors on a row, on some of these rows, and I don't like to knit with 3 colors on a row. I have a very specific way that I carry my floats on the back, and when I have an extra yarn, I'm having problems. My brain isn't just flowing with it. I'm having to stop and think where I want to catch that float. So I ended up on this last row. I said, forget it. I'm not even going to catch the floats, which that kind of goes against my grain. But so you will see on the back here, I have some long floats right down here. But I'm being very careful to stretch out my yarn so that it doesn't pucker, because it's really better to have a long float than one that's too short. And I may go in at the end and catch them. Or I'm just wondering if, because of the rusticness of this yarn, if when I block it, it might kind of felt a little bit back there and I won't need to. Anyways, I think I will really love this. It's a yoke sweater. And I like the fact that it's 3/4 inch sleeves. I like that. So that's what I'm working on right now, the Birkin sweater. Let me show you what my goals are since I told you about the quarterly sweater. On Instagram, people were putting up their best 9 projects of 2017. And then they started putting up their goals for 2018. So I went through my queue and I picked out mine. And I picked out things that I already have the yarn for. I will have to buy a few patterns, but I have most of these already. And these are the things that really just captivated my fiber love, I think, when I saw them. My love of fiber. The Rusty cardigan right here. I don't think I've shown you, but I've started that. I started that last year. Mine is a charcoal gray that's a little bit darker than this with a winter blue going around it. This Cambridge shawl right here, way back when Kate Middleton, when she first got married, this shawl pattern was very popular because she was not caught, well, I guess the paparazzi shot a picture of her on a bicycle leaving a grocery store. So they called it the grocery cart shawl, I think. I'm not sure. Anyways, this design is by Carol Sunday, and I've had that yarn for about 4 years now, maybe 5. I really like that. The Birkin, I've started. These slippers, I think Lori x5 on Instagram was making them, and I really love them. I think this is called Handstodder. Sorry. When I was in Denver, my daughter bought some yarn that she wanted me to make into this hat. I think this is called Phaedra. This is the Flea cardigan, and I have lots of Shetland wool. So mine won't be pink, but that'll be fun. And then the underwing mitts, which when I first saw the Gentle Knitter talking about them, I wasn't that crazy about them. But the more I saw people talking about them and sharing them, the more I liked them. So I've got some Shetland wool that I'll be using for that. And then these are the latest, and these may be the ones that I might tend to drop if I drop anything. But I just bought this pattern, and I think this is from this may also be from Caitlin Hunter. Boyland Knits, yeah. And this is called Trade Winds. And I'm still thinking I may use that. Oh, I won't even tell you, because I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. And then this is the Agatha sweater by Andy Soderlin. I've wanted to knit one of her sweaters. And I'm going to be sewing some dresses this year, and I thought that would be cute over a dress. So I printed this off because I'm going to hang it up on my bulletin board as a reminder that these are the things I'm going to focus on. And when these things are done, then I might diversify and knit more things. But if I were to knit all 9 of these things next year, I think I'd be really happy. I think these are all very good staples to my wardrobe. So along that lines, I did something maybe kind of crazy. I don't know. It's gonna work for me. What I did, I took all of my yarn, all of it. I took all of my yarn out of hiding. It really wasn't in hiding. It was right there in plain view, but I took it all out and I filled up. First I picked out, no, I didn't do that. I'm telling a fib. What I started with before I did this, I told you guys I want to do a quarterly system of projects. So I picked out 4 things to go in a hands box, and I have 4 hand projects in that box. I have 4 shawls in another box. I have 4 sweaters in another box. I have all my Wonderland sock yarn in a box. And then I've got striped yarn in a box. Seems like I'm missing something there. Anyways, I pulled out the yarn for those projects. And then I took all of my yarn, all of it, and I put it in 4 huge garbage bags. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm not going to throw it away. But I am going to mindfully, once a quarter, take one of those bags. I'm going to mindfully go through that yarn. And if I'm not totally, crazily, madly in love with that yarn, I may get rid of it or donate it to a charity or give it to friends. But I want to have a stash that I truly love, not some stash that's been hanging around for 15 years. Now, granted, there's some things like a worsted wool that you may need. I don't know. But I want to go through my stuff, and each quarter I will go through one of those bags and I will look at all that yarn, the yarn I really truly love. I will take pictures of and put that out on Ravelry, so I know exactly what I have. So that is kind of my fiber goal for next year, and I'd be very interested to hear if you have any fiber goals. So I'm going to open up another thread in our Ravelry group, and if you have any ideas or any plans of what you're going to do, let me know what your ideas are, because I think a lot of people are talking about this mindful knitting right now. And I know I just tend to go along with whatever the greatest and the best latest pattern is, and a lot of things get neglected. And I have bought yarn for things over the years that I have loved for particular projects. So my goal is to really stay focused on this, and I would love for you guys to encourage me, because I need accountability. So that is one of my goals. That's my fiber goal. My next goal that I'm doing is I am going to participate in the Declutter Your Home. My sheet's way over there, sorry. It's a challenge. It's a 365-day challenge on decluttering your home. And hold on just 1 minute. Sorry about that. I really needed to let the doggies out, and I wanted to show you this. So it's put out by Home Storage Solutions. And I'll put a link down below here for this. But you can print out calendars, and you can sign up for the emails, and she will send you emails each week about what to do. But and you can download them. But this is the January. So you get a calendar. So the first week in January, what you are doing is you're focusing on your kitchen counters. So I'll just read off the first week so you kind of get an idea of what you're doing. But this whole first month, you're in your kitchen tackling these things. So on Tuesday, you're to declutter and organize your kitchen sink area. And then she has links on to her website to show you how to do these things if you're like me and you don't know how to do some of those things. On Wednesday, you clear off your kitchen counters and your islands. Thursday, today, I'm going to be working on clearing off my kitchen table. Sounds like, well, my kitchen table does have stuff on it, so who am I? Who am I trying to fool? My kitchen table is a collect-all for everything. But I will get that cleared off, everything put away. I will get the furniture polish off. I will clean my table. I will wipe down my mats and get them clean again. And on Friday, you're decluttering your kitchen utensils, knives, and measuring cups. On Saturday, you're decluttering your pot holders and kitchen towels. So it just breaks everything in your kitchen down. And this is how it will be for the whole year. So by the end of the year, they're daily 15-minute missions. So you should only spend 15 minutes a day doing whatever the mission is. And by the end of the year, your home will be decluttered. So that's my 52-week organized home challenge, just in case anybody's interested in that. So my other goal for myself is to sew more. So I really surprised myself when I got some Christmas money and gift cards for the Fancy Tiger Craft. Instead of going in and buying yarn like I typically do, I bought fabric, because that store is an incredible fabric store. In addition to being a yarn shop, it's got embroidery, it's got spinning, it's got dyeing, it's got sewing, it has so many things. Well, I had ordered shortly before Christmas on a Black Friday sale, I ordered this rifle paper company. I see I'm going to have to move fast because the sun is starting to come in pretty fast here. So this will be a dress for myself that I may wear a little denim jacket over. But when I was in that store, I spotted this fabric that I pre-washed, so it's kind of wrinkled. But I'm going to make pajama pants each quarter. So I'll have 4 new pajama pants by the end of the year. And I'm going to find some fun fiber-related fabric for this. And I've been seeing this float around on project bags and whatnot. But then I spotted this. Anyways, this is the Hepworth apron. And I think this would just really look cute over some leggings or some jeans. And it's got French seams. Anyways, I bought this fabric for it. It's kind of a linen type fabric. And I just think that would be fun. So I'll be making that. And then I just really love this gold color that is so popular right now. It's not the greatest on my skin tone, I don't think, but I love it. And I'm just gonna make a little 3/4 length dress to hang out in, I think, with leggings. Some kind of apron dress maybe. So I've got that. So those are my sewing goals this quarter that I'm going to be doing. And I hope to be sewing more because I would like to have a me-made wardrobe. So guys, I think that is it. I think I've showed you everything. I've blathered on. Let me blather a little bit more. I want to tell you something that's kind of funny to me. my husband is like a light Nazi. We've been married 35 years, and he's been going behind me all those years, turning off lights the second I walk out of a room. And I don't really need him to do that because I learned how to do that when I was a little girl. Because my dad made us do that too. But so when it came time to buy him a Christmas present, my daughter and I thought it would be fun for him to have one of those Echoes that you may have seen advertised a lot. And so we got him one of those with lights that he can tell Alexa to turn off the lights, or Alexa, let's watch NCIS. Oh, did you hear her? She's over there and she heard me. Anyways, there's all kinds of commands you can use with it. And also, I don't want to talk too loud or I might have her do something. Let me see if I'll have her do something. Alexa, turn on the light. Okay. I can't really see if she did. Anyways, so he's having a ball with that. But what is funny and what kept us laughing so much is that the doctor that we go to, her name is Alexis. And so he kept saying, Alexis, turn off the light. Alexis, turn on the TV. And she wouldn't do anything. He was getting frustrated. We'd say, you're saying Alexis, not Alexa. So it's been kind of amusing around here to watch an old dog learn new tricks. So that is about it for me today. That's all the blathering I have. I've missed talking to you guys, and I will try to be a little bit more frequent. I think I'm going to try to record once a week. I don't have any news on the master knitting front. I've been working a little bit on the sweater, the vest, one of the projects, because I was doing a lot of pattern writing in December for this second pattern, and I was having to think a lot about numbers and details, and I just didn't want to think about master knitting. But I've got to get that done, and my goal is to have the whole cabling swatches done and finished and ready to share with you guys next time, so I can share with you what I've learned. That will hopefully maybe help you too. So thanks a lot, guys. If you've enjoyed this podcast, think about subscribing so that you can be alerted when I put a podcast up. Or give it a thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Until next time, happy knitting.